A perfect match. Oh. Oh, interesting. It's suggesting $37. Hi, thanks so much for joining me. Today we are talking all about these new Hermes products. And I was very hopeful for these because I'm looking for that next generation foundation. And for me, next generation foundation is going to be something that I can see the results of. However, I cannot see the product on my face or feel it on my face. So I was very hopeful that this would be it. We have the primer, the foundation, and also the foundation brush. And thank you so much for your patience. I know so many of you have been waiting for this video. I really wanted to go in store to get shade matched because when I looked online, I was very confused. They have 3 different undertones, which I think is amazing. However, selecting the right depth and the right richness of shade was a little bit tricky. Even in store, you really had to see them on the skin to see which one meshed and melded and melted into the skin the best. We're going to talk about how to maximize this foundation. And this is a pretty long wear test. They have a 16-hour wear claim, and with primer even more. So this is not a first impression, it's an initial impression. I've been wearing this for a week now, and I definitely have some thoughts. I have some tips for you. We also have a shade matching tool that we'll be trying out that is available on the Hermes website. So I'll show you how that compares with the shade that I picked up. I do have mostly Hermes products on my face right now, a few Chanel items thrown in there. Also no concealer on these dark spots. I really wanted to see what this could do. I know that other products layered on top will also impact the performance, so I didn't want to put any other products on top of it. I do have some blush. It is Hermes blush. I did not powder today. I'll also tell you how I would use this with concealer and what has worked as we get towards the end. We'll see if this is the foundation I've been waiting for. Is it game changing? I don't use that word very often, but that's what I'm looking for because Hermes products for me, I've got bags, shoes, some ready to wear by Hermes, some makeup, oh, actually lots of makeup as well, and these are excellent products. So I wanted to see if this is consistent with the excellence that I expect from Hermes. So make sure to stay till the end to hear all the tips and tricks that I figured out so far to get this to work the best for me. So let's go ahead and get started. I was hoping to get this on my face before 8 a.m. So we are at 7:45 a.m. What I'm gonna do is do the foundation, primer foundation first, and then we'll do the rest of the makeup because I want it to have the most life on my skin. No, the most wear time on my skin. So I have here all of my Hermes products. I've been wearing this for about a week now, every day, over SPF. So today I'm going to show you without SPF because some people have different SPF products. Also talk about what I've used. So let's get right into this. I did get the brush. I didn't think I needed it until I went to the Hermes store and got color match. So I'm going to say that's one of the most important things is to get the appropriate or the correct color match or shade match because we tried a couple of different shades and the one that was slightly lighter was very apparent on my skin. Perfecting Prime Base. Yeah, I didn't know if it was worth it or not to get this, and I have also tried this in my wear tests over the last week that there is a difference in applying it or not applying it. I'm just gonna go right here in the center of my face. I have no makeup on, obviously. I did a pump of the primer, but I'm just adding it to the center here. So here is the primer. This does not have primer. This has primer. This reminds me of Chanel products in that there's very limited information about the products and you kind of just have to experiment and figure out what works best. There is no fragrance in here. So I believe that's a misconception that there's fragrance in this product. It's the mulberry extract. Someone was asking me if it's the same as the Plein. There's this very similar scent. Not fragrance, scent. Again, it's the mulberry extract, not a fragrance. Hydrating and Smoothing Perfecting Primer, Universal Primer Satin Finish. So you can see it took down a little bit of my natural shininess of my skin. It's just the texture of my skin makes it look shiny. It's not dry. I have combo skin. I can get oily in the center and I can get dry on the exterior, which is why I applied it only in the center here. Hydrates, smooths, and plumps skin. It's made with 92% ingredients of natural origin, combining niacinamide, pure hyaluronic acid, and white mulberry extract. So they both have similar ingredients. Very much a skincare focus, which I appreciate. Okay, so we've got that on half the skin, and the person at Hermes told me that you can also just wear this as is. Like, this could be your makeup, this primer. If you have very even skin and you don't need to even anything out, like, that is a beautiful feeling kind of texture as well. Because it's satin, it's not dry, but it's also not like a super dewy, shiny, glowy kind of, it feels smooth. That's what I like about it. I do like the way these products feel on the skin, and that's really important because, as you know, I don't love foundation. Foundation is not something I enjoy wearing. I like the results, but I don't like the way it typically feels. The foundations that are my favorites are like non-detectable, what's the word I'm looking for? Non-detectable? What am I looking for? Not non-sensible. What is the word I'm looking for? You can't sense it on the skin. So those are the kinds of products I like. And this is one of those kinds of products. This primer feels very natural. Feels like my skin. Doesn't feel like I'm wearing product on my skin. I love that. Okay, let's go in with the foundation. So the foundation I picked is 41N Cajou. They have 3 undertones. Also picked up the brush. This is something I didn't think I needed. I wasn't actually even looking at when I looked it online, and then it was applied right here. She applied the foundation with both a sponge and a brush. I wasn't paying attention. I was talking about something else with her, like trying to find out more about the product. And she said, "Did you notice what happened with the application?" And I said no, because I wasn't watching. And she said, well, the brush is really going to distribute this and not absorb the product like a sponge would. This was, I'm told, created to complement the foundation. So I thought, if I can maximize this foundation with their brush, I don't normally do that. I don't normally buy a brush to go with a specific product. In most cases, it'll be like a concealer brush for just concealers in general, but not for a specific product. So I did buy this specifically to complement this foundation. So we're gonna go in with 41N Cajou, which is not the color I would have selected. When I started looking online, this is not what I would, I mean, it doesn't even look like it would work, but we talked a lot about undertone. We talked about what I like in a foundation, which is if I'm gonna err on the side of lighter or more rich, I'm gonna err on the side of lighter because it's easier for me to work with that than if it has too much color, because that's really hard to like backpedal and try and adjust around that. So I'd rather go in with a lighter and adjust. And it was interesting. She used Atlas. She had beautiful, rich skin. She used Atlas, the bronzer, which I'll talk about later, and apply it later. She uses that for a powder, and it is beautiful. I agree with her. So it looks too light, I know, but we're gonna just blend this in. A little goes a long way. So for those of us who don't love foundation, this does not take a lot of product. So one pump should be enough, but we're gonna also use this for a concealer of sorts and see if we can, not see, I've been experimenting with this. We're gonna address these dark spots with foundation only. We are gonna go in though with a little bit of concealer under the eye because I'm gonna need that. Yeah, and another reason I waited slightly longer just for the skincare to mesh into my skin is because when I wake up, I have darker circles under my eyes, like a little bit of puffiness. So the longer I'm awake, the less puffy my eyes look. Okay, so just kind of patting it in here, and then it really distributes the foundation very seamlessly on the skin. And that's what I liked, and that's what sold me on this brush. And I love brushes, you know, I love that Shiseido, that petal brush. It actually, now that I say that, reminds me of one of those petals. It's very densely packed, very effortless, very quick application with this. I did try this with my hands just to experiment because actually, when I went to Hermes, they were out of stock with this brush. So I ordered it from Nordstrom. And in the meantime, I was applying this with my hands or a different brush. And with my hands, it's definitely a different result, and it wasn't as good. So it doesn't necessarily have to be this brush, although it's weighted very nicely. So if you are an Hermes fan and you're buying this foundation, you might appreciate this brush because there's a lot of attention to detail, which is what they are known for, which is why I love them. So let me get this on half. Okay, so that is one very, very thin layer. Okay, so that's half. So it's like a veil of foundation. It's a luminous matte finish as well, which is my favorite. Okay, we're gonna apply over here with no primer now. The one that came to mind, actually, is the Clé de Peau. Clé de Peau has a very similar finish. which I love. I love that name, Luminous and Matte together, because they seem like they won't go together. So in the spots where I need more, I'm just gonna stipple it in a little bit. We're gonna build it up here in these spots where I normally put concealer down. And this is a great size as well. It's not too bulky, and I can go in and use it as a concealer brush of sorts. And I can also get these spots really nicely. Kind of does the job of stippling and blending because of the shape of the brush. And we're not gonna set today. This foundation sets itself. Well, again, that'll be part of our wear test, see how that goes. We're gonna call this time right now. We do want the skin to show through, so any imperfections, I still wanna see a little bit of that. Makes it look more real, like real skin. Okay, so we're 8:02 now. So we're gonna call 8 o'clock for the beginning of this wear test. I may perfect a little bit more, but at least we have most of it on. Okay, so let's take a closer look. This is primed side and no primer. I can see a difference. It looks, I don't know if it's as apparent. It's nice and smooth here though, and a little bit more like plumped up than this side. This side kind of just absorbed the, I mean, it still looks nice, but I feel like maximizing the foundation really helps with the, I mean, I feel like you can really see with the texture part there. You can see my pores. Here it's a little smoother. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just conceal under the eyes. I have the new Chanel, the color corrector, and I think it says Pesh underneath. Go right under the eye. We're gonna dot 3 little dots here. Not very much concealer either here. This is a concealer brush by Make. It's really nice weight as well. And we're going with the Kosas Air Brow in Brown Black. Okay, now that I've got my brows on, I can see, like, do I need to perfect these a little bit more? I did. So we're going in with just a little bit more of that foundation right here and on these little blemishes here. And we're not that far off the 8 o'clock, 8:16. So I'm gonna stop messing with the foundation now. Usually when I get my brows on, I can kind of tell, like, do I need more coverage? Where are we? So we're gonna go in with one of the palettes, Ombre Fumées. This one right here, it's very neutral. I'm gonna take this Rae Morris brush, the number 8 here, and it's a brush that you can use, or I can use just one brush for the entire eye because it does so many things. So I'm gonna add the color on here, and because of the tapered shape, I can even do like a very soft liner. But I'm gonna go all over the lid with this shade right here, that taupey shade. We'll do something very natural. And that right there is a great shade, but we're gonna go in just slightly, add a little bit more dimension. We're gonna go in with this deepest shade here, and it looks really deep. And it is quite pigmented, but we're gonna go in light-handedly. So I like to take this brush and just hold it vertically like this, and then just get a little bit of that color into the lid there on the exterior. Very soft. And slightly, that's why I like this pointed edge, slightly into the crease. Not the edge, but the pointed, tapered end on it. It's very nice. Like, that was very quick. Let's go ahead and add here. Very gently picking up the color, because it's, like I said, it's quite intense. So you can see how it goes quickly to something more intense. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of this color right here and just blend it in. Just like this, just to soften it. A little bit more dimension in there. Very soft. So you can see the difference of layering, but we're keeping this very easy. But again, it's this brush that's really helping because it can do so many things and also blend this out. Okay, so this palette is, I'm gonna say it's in need of like a lighter shade. This is sparkly and silver, which is not my favorite, but we're gonna go in with this and then we're gonna do something different. So I'm taking this like, it's got an olivey tone to it, and just go right here next to that darkest area. Just kind of blend the two. I haven't done my nails yet today. So during this wear test, I'm gonna apply my favorite nail polish. This is pretty much the only polish I wear on my fingernails. I use Rouge Piment on my toes. It's like a beautiful red color. But this is the one that I use on my fingernails, and I like my nails short. So we'll be doing the base, this, and oh my gosh, almost dropped it, and the top coat. It's just so you can see this is what my nails look like before. So we'll see them after as well. So I took this out because this is like my universal little pop of, not a pop, but it's like an illuminator almost for my eyes, just for the center because it goes with most palettes. This is Beige Sable by Chanel 234. I'm just gonna apply it to the center here, and you'll see the difference because it's got a really pretty soft glow about it. It's like a glowy satin, so you can see the difference there. It just adds some dimension, some life. You can see how it just brightens the eye a little bit more. No detectable sparkly particles. I don't love sparkly particles. It's very subtle, just to the center. I think it just looks really pretty, very natural. And I did purchase this with intent to go with almost every palette, and so far, so good. It also takes away a potential muddiness with this Hermes palette that I have on. I don't want it to look heavy, so I think it lightens it up a little bit. It's my favorite Chanel mascara. Okay, also you can see, I think that it's starting, the foundation is starting to really mesh with my skin. I'm gonna do a little bit more experimenting. We're gonna go in with the Chanel, the new concealer. And usually I'll add Clé de Peau here to really clean the edges there and brighten it because it can get a little bit dark there on the exterior of my eye. So I'm gonna apply it here to kind of clean. Ooh, that's too much. This is in BD41. So I just do that. You can see how bright it is. And we're also gonna try and brighten underneath a little bit with the whatever's kind of left over. More precise, that was a Sephora 71. This is a Refer 3. Right in the corner there. And right underneath. Then let's brighten this darkest part right here with BD41. We're going to take a Rose Pommette. This is by Hermes. Rae Morris Brush. I've been using this all week with it as well. So I've had a chance to test this blush on top of the foundation. Like I said, the foundation will set itself, so we're not powdering. Although you could use something like there's the Plein, the translucent powder, which I have. Do I have it here? This Plein can be used with it if you want to powder. Yeah, I can definitely see like a more plump appearance to the side with the primer versus this one, which is showing a little bit more texture in the pore area. So I'd love to know if you have this primer. Have you tried a side-by-side with and without primer? Are you getting similar results? Now this blush also is quite, it can build quickly, and also hopefully the wear test today will show the longevity of this blush as well. Like this lasts all day for me. So I have to be really careful in the morning not to add too much because essentially I've been seeing that it just stays at the same level of intensity throughout the day. Going a little bit over the bridge of the nose as well. Okay, now we can still see a little bit of the darkness here, but I want to leave it like that and not apply concealer because I feel like we're not really measuring the longevity of the product if I'm adding other, especially from a different brand, a different line, concealer. So that's where we're going to leave it as is today so you can see the longevity of it and how it wears. Quick little dusting of bronzer. I love this color. It was my favorite bronzer of the year. I'm looking for a brush that's gonna do a good job. Dust the forehead. A little bronzer to the, actually where we should add bronzer, right here. Okay, so I've had my hair up in these clips. Actually, I got this new Crown Affair mousse that I used last night, and I used a little bit of the Oribe like cream on the ends. And so before I do something like the Dyson, I'll show you what this looks like. These are all those tilt clips. They're very soft on the hair because they've got this fabric here. Okay, wait for the light to adjust. So this is it just kind of rough dried last night. So I'm gonna go ahead and run the Dyson through it. I have the air wrap. I'm gonna use a long barrel and get a few waves in there, and then we'll add the lip. This is number 18, Rose Encens. And it looks like this. Okay, so that's how that looks, but we're gonna bring that down, cool it down a little bit. There's a bit of warmth, just a slight bit of warmth in here as well. It's been my go-to to adjust any lip colors that are a little bit brighter compared to my hair now. And we are at about, with the hair, it takes a little bit longer. Oh, not bad though. We are at 9:12, which with all the talking, I mean, it goes a lot faster when I'm not talking and I'm just applying makeup. And I did like a full eye compared to what I normally do with some blending, and then I did my hair. So to get ready in the morning though is very quick if I'm not doing anything else really except for my complexion. Okay, so this side is the primed side. And this side is the unprimed side. You could see the dark spots through on purpose. I didn't conceal them. We're not having as much luck with the Chanel concealer right here that it's gathering. So I may have to still use the Victoria Beckham trench that I used to kind of cancel that. So I think you can see also there's more of a visible texture without the primer. Also, it doesn't look as plump, I don't think. Yeah, there's a certain way that it really enhances the skin, that primer, versus the side with just the foundation. I mean, it still looks nice, but when you see the comparison, 16-hour long-lasting hold. I will not be wearing it 16 hours, maybe like 12, 13 hours. We'll see how long we can go. And then the primer, I was told, extends it to about 24 hours, which I never wear makeup for 24 hours. I don't know any situation where I'd be wearing makeup that long. In reality, I wear makeup on my face like this. I've been testing out for a good 12 hours. I've had a good week with this just to test it out and see, and hopefully the results today will be the same as what I've been seeing. The only difference is though with that I am not wearing SPF today because I didn't want that to impact the results for this wear test. But I can tell you that, oh, so the SPF I have been wearing, I've been trying it with this. This is more of like a fluid serum-y kind of SPF. It's mineral SPF, it's SPF 50. This is the Bloom Effects Tulip Dew Sunscreen Serum. Oh, it says serum. So yes, it's like a serum-y kind of consistency. This has worked really well with it. I've also been testing it with this one. This is a tinted SPF. These are the Audacity SPF 50 drops as well. And this one is in the shade 2.5. Let's read the claims about this foundation. They did work on this for a few years, so it has been a long time in the making. It says it's a luminous matte skincare foundation. So there's a great deal of skincare in here. It says it instantly blurs imperfections, 16-hour long-lasting hold, medium buildable coverage. I'm gonna say it's more of a medium coverage. Buildable, yes, but I think it looks more beautiful with less makeup, as most foundations do. Just making sure that it's the right shade though, because like the previous Plein Air that I tried, more of the tinted moisturizer product that they have. Let's see, do they still have that? I don't even know. Okay, so the Plein Air Complexion Balm is a very different kind of thing. So do they carry this still? I don't see it. Not on their site. I see it on other sites, so I'm not sure. But the reason why that did not work out for me the first time I tried it is because the shade was too light. So it really sat on the skin. You could see it. Then I went to a richer shade, I think it was Palomino. And once I got the correct shade match, it really did mesh with the skin. It melted into the skin. And then it was a completely different, performing different results kind of product. So I feel like with this one also shade match is key. So if you can go into a boutique, then I would definitely do that. Have them shade match you and test a couple of different colors so you can see how it looks. It says the luminous matte finish is a fluid texture. The foundation offers natural makeup results. It looks like second skin, and it does. It looks very second skin on the face. It resists heat, humidity, and perspiration. So I'm gonna work out today, I think. I do about 4 miles and I run. So it's, well, I run slowly. So it's about an hour. 82% skincare base. I love that. I love that because if I'm wearing it all day, I want it to be acting on my skin as well. Niacinamide to nourish, smooth, and improve skin quality. Pure hyaluronic acid for moisturization, and white mulberry extract. Again, that is the scent that you will detect. It's not a fragrance. It is an antioxidant that plumps the skin while protecting it. So even though it's got a plumping kind of nature to it, it still looks a little more plump here with a primer to me. So they have 3 different undertones here. Warm, for skin with pink, apricot, or copper tone. Cool, for skin with golden, ochre, or bronze tones. And then neutral, skin with no particular dominant tone. And mine is a neutral undertone. Yeah, there's a find your shade actually. I'm looking at it. Oh, it wants to access my camera. Shall we see? Okay, so oh wow, it's a very nice image. I'm gonna take an image of it. Okay, I'm trying this find your shade. Okay, so it looks really nice. Like your image looks really nice here. Like this is what it looks like here. And it says your skin has apricot, peach, copper hue, yellow. I'm gonna say no dominant because I kind of already know that. Perfect match. Oh, interesting. It's suggesting 37W as my perfect match. And deeper, 43W. Oh, interesting. And then lighter, 33W. Okay, that's not 41 at all. So I don't know, but this is interesting. But also tells me that maybe also, if you can go into the store, go into the store. If not, find people online who are making videos. Okay, so I'll see you in a few hours. Okay, we are back for a check-in. Let me just get my clock up here. So it is 14 o'clock, which means we have had this on, what do we call it, like 8 o'clock? So that's 6 hours. We're about halfway through. Yeah, halfway through, or a little bit close to halfway through our wear test. And let me show you, but I want to also show you before I mess this up. I swatched this against other shades. So hopefully this is helpful, but I also think, I don't know how helpful it is because it looks very far off the current shades that I am a good shade match with. So let me just stand up and show you. So right here, we have the original shade that I have on now, which is Caju 41N. This here is 45, the same Hermes foundation. I just had a little sample. This here is the Sublimage L'Essence de Teint. This one right here, I swatched this against it, and that's in B40. So that's B40. It's much more neutral and more rich looking. And then this over here is typically my ideal shade match, but it doesn't look like it now compared to this. This, I know this is going out, but hopefully it just helps. This is the Chanel. This is the Le Teint, the Sublimage Le Teint. This is in BD41. So you can see how far it is. Then I thought, let's see what this looks like against this concealer. This is BD41, the new Chanel concealer right there, which actually it looks very close to. There's just more peachiness to this concealer, BD41. And then I thought I should probably swatch it against this. I'll swatch 2 shades. Okay, so this is in Wheat. Let's swatch Wheat here. So Wheat just blends into my arm. It's barely detectable, like you can't even see it, that's Wheat. I also have this in the shade Nude. So this here is Nude. It's closer to Nude, but also this is still a little bit lighter and a little bit more warm than Nude. So peach, there is a peachier tone in this Future Skin Nude than this in 41N. This is the Hermes product. So I'm not sure if that was more or less confusing, but that also I think illustrates the idea that this is a difficult foundation to identify even with a swatch. So again, getting it on the face is really helpful. 6 hours into wear, you can see we don't have any real settling. I think I scratched my nose there. Again, no powder. Oh, I do have to say, I did change the lip out. So if you saw the intro, the shade I have is 48 Brilliant Rose Boise. It's a different formulation. It's more like it's more sheer, and it looks like this. It's really pretty, and that's what I have on my lips by Hermes. That's what the name of it is, number 48. 1817, so it's about 10 hours, over 10 hours that we've had this makeup on. We have eaten dinner already, and oh, let me refresh my lip product. I'm gonna work out now, and then I think I'll take a shower. I'll wash my hair, I'll take a shower, so we'll be exposed to some humidity. I won't wash my face, and then we'll take a look. So let's just see. Nothing's really shifted around. I'm not getting anything gathering here. Now that is one thing that I did watch as I wore this, so I made sure to not apply as much in this area, because if there's more product, it will have a tendency to do that. So just limiting the amount there really helps. And what I noticed, and this is consistent with what I have been seeing throughout the week, is that if I don't add primer, there's a little bit slightly more movement here than on this side. Oh, I also wanted to mention though, these are my nails. I painted 01 Rose Porcelain is what I used on my nails. I'm gonna go work out and then I will see you later after the workout. Let's see how this holds up in the heat and humidity. Okay, I was gonna actually rough dry my hair first, but I wanted to show you because I took a shower. I didn't wash my face, but I definitely, it looks like I was in the rain. So I wanted to show you what water looks like on the face or on the foundation. Okay, so this will dry as I do my hair, but I wanted to show you that it's not moving the foundation, like it's not melting off my face. Also, it is almost 8 o'clock, so we're almost at 12 hours. So by the time I see you, it'll probably take like 15 minutes to dry my hair. So I also toned it. So those of you who are asking what I used to tone, I used a Pureology product. I'll list it down below, but I'm gonna rough dry this hair. I have some pros, a couple of cons, and then I have a few tips about how to best use this foundation. We're at over 12 hours. We started a little bit actually before 8. So we are at 12 plus hours. Okay, I feel very warm, so I don't know about you, but when I dry my hair with a blow dryer, I get overheated, so I'm definitely warm from inside here. So I did my 4-mile workout, so I was on the treadmill. I'm slow for like an hour, and then I took my shower. So I definitely challenged it with the workout, with the heat, and then also you saw after the shower there was a lot of humidity. There was even water on my face. Also, I wanted to mention what I prepped with because I think that helps. So I prepped with the Chantecaille Biolifting Eye Cream under the eye, the Biolifting Serum Plus. This is also by Chantecaille, and this consistently works well with foundations. It's the Biolifting Cream Plus, all by Chantecaille. So that's what I prepped with. Also, what did I want to say? Yeah, they also had claims that it performed well in heat and humidity. Actually, I feel like I need to take another shower. That's how warm I feel right now. I did have some notes for you about some of the pros and cons. So the pros for this foundation right here, and actually the primer, this is second skin-like. Now, of course, it does perform a bit better with the primer underneath. I'm going to say the primer enhances that second skin-like finish that this foundation provides. So, I mean, I'll look together, look again. This is the primer side, the non-primed side. It's very, like, you've got to be observing this to see the difference, but I can tell the difference. Still does well without the primer. I just think it does better with the primer. It has excellent wear. You could see it wore well over time with the heat, with the humidity, and now I still feel really warm. It does have skincare benefits. I love that. If I'm going to put something on my skin, I want it to have those skincare benefits. It's also fuss-free, so it's actually quite fast to apply this if I'm especially going in with concealer after, because then I don't have to worry so much about those spots and trying to build it up. So I would realistically use this with a concealer. But again, I wanted to show you how it really performed without a concealer, because that way you can see the true life of it, because nothing else is interacting aside from the primer, the foundation, and then that blush that I applied. Also, this does not oxidize. I was told it doesn't oxidize. In my experience observing it, I have not seen it oxidize either. Although I have to say it does get better with time. That is, again, a hallmark of a great foundation is you apply it and it starts to mesh with the skin and looks better over time. This is one of those foundations. From what I've told, there is no fragrance for those of you who are concerned about fragrance in makeup, although there is that mulberry extract, which does provide a scent just because of the extract itself. Cons here, the price. The price is one of the higher priced foundations out there, but this is really for those who don't love foundation. If you don't want to see the foundation on your face, if you don't want to feel the foundation on your face, you just want to see the results, this is that type of foundation. I think People who love that, like me, will love this product, which is why I love this product. It is definitely going head to head with my holy grail in an upcoming video, which is the Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion. This has performed so well for me in so many different conditions, and I know is the holy grail for so many of you. You've let me know how much you love it, so we are going to test that in the future. This is still a newer product to me, and I'm learning about it, and really holy grail status is established when there's a little bit more time involved, a little bit more experience in different climates and different conditions, and we kind of tested that a little bit with the workout and the shower. Also, a con is that it's a little bit harder to figure out your shade match, because even with the online, which I really appreciated, the online tool, it still wasn't the same shade that I was recommended. So think about that as you try to use that tool. It might not be completely accurate. Another thing that's a con is that even though it is hard to shade match, it's also hard to find a place to get shade match, because I went to the Nordstrom in the same mall, and I know Hermes is available online at Nordstrom, but they didn't have it at the store. I had to go to an Hermes shop. I know there are not very many of them, and then even to get in sometimes is a challenge. I did have an appointment, so if you can find a place, find an appointment and get shade match. That is my recommendation. Otherwise, find people online like here that you know are the same shade match as you, and see what they selected and see if it's a good fit for them. And if it is, it'll probably work for you as well. So make sure to check out all the other people who are posting videos on this. And I think that's probably your best bet for finding your best shade match if you cannot go to a store. Now we're getting into the tips that I have for you. So shade match is key. Like I said, I had the wrong shade, a lighter shade on, and it was evident. It sat on the skin, so finding the correct shade match is going to really make this look great and get the results that I look for, which is just seeing the results of the makeup. Another thing is less is more. So it can be built up, but I think this foundation does really well when you just put the slightest amount on the skin, because it does even out things, it blurs things, but when it comes to things like darker hyperpigmentation like I have, I wouldn't choose to build this up to cover it up. I would choose to go in again with a concealer, something that has more density to it than this foundation. But this is lovely with other concealers. So I've tried this, especially like I said, with the Chanel concealer. That's what I would pair this with. And you'll see that in an upcoming video, because I will continue to use this foundation. The primer really does help maximize this foundation, so I would recommend this, especially if your skin is nice and even and you just want to do a little bit of slight perfecting blurring. Then you might want to just wear the primer. Like if I didn't have dark spots, I would be using this daily just to get that really nice finish on the skin. I think it looks really pretty. This brush really does help complement the makeup application, helps it go on faster. It's more seamless, more natural looking when used with this brush. Because like I said, I didn't have this brush. The only time I used it was when I was shade matched, and then today, and I was really reminded how great it was, because I did use my hands during the week. I've used other brushes which are nice as well. This really pairs nicely with it. And if you wanted to know what I did to my hair, just rough drying it, I put in this Crown Affair, the dry texturizing air dry mousse. It is intended for air drying, but I used a dryer anyway, blow dryer, just to rough dry. And then I finished off with the Oribe Supershine moisturizing cream just on the ends here, just to smooth out the ends just a little bit. So let me know if you have any other questions about this. This will not be the last time I use the Hermes foundation. In fact, I enjoy it so much I'm using it every day. I use it on top of SPF. Let me know if you want to see it on top of one of these SPF products that I've been trying it with, because that's how I am applying it daily. So it's one of those makeup products that I look forward to applying. I have to say, I don't spend a lot of time on my makeup anymore, so I'll skip all kinds of steps now, but I have really enjoyed including this step and observing the makeup throughout the day, because it always looks really nice. I haven't encountered a day where I thought it didn't look good. Is it a game-changing foundation? Time will tell. I will let you know my thoughts on it, but it's definitely headed in that direction. It is definitely a next generation kind of foundation for me, in that I can use less product, it lasts a long time, it looks better with time, it doesn't oxidize, and it looks like second skin. It looks very undetectable on the skin. Here's one more look in case you wanted to see. And I, again, did not touch anything up all day long. You can still see the blush on there as well. And actually the eyeshadow did quite well. And so did the concealer under the eye, which is Chanel. That is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.